Swati, just so Naren asked you a few questions, and I would like you to look at Naren not as Naren, but just any person who's sort of had this interaction with you. Do you have any perhaps a couple of things that were good about the questions that he asked you, and a couple of things that sprung up to you as red flags or something that would make you hesitant to respond?
Nothing stood out as red flags, usually, but that's just me. Like as a human being, other people are different. I usually give people the benefit of doubt, even when someone reaches out to me, but nothing stood out as red flags. You know, I'm happy to help people when they reach out. I think the one thing that I really liked that Naren did was he knew what my background was. He knew kind of what work I was doing. So it tells me like he's done his homework. Do your homework before you talk to the person. Like really understand kind of at least the space they're in. So you have something, you have a common ground, right? Like, oh, I saw you got your PhD in genetics. You know, I'm doing genetics right now. I'm doing cancer research, you know, and I love your journey. I'd love to. So build that connection, build that relationship right out of the gate. Oh, I see you do dragon boating. Oh, I love the sport. I just recently saw, whatever it is, like find that common ground. And that will help you just ease into the conversation, you know, kind of build that, be personable, like just break down those walls and just have that human to human interaction. You know, this person on the other line is not like, they might be a CEO, they might be a VP, they might be a senior director, whatever their titles are, they're human beings at the end of the day. You're a human being too. So just, you know, have a human to human interaction than like a boss or like someone that's higher up in their career and a look, like don't do that. So, you know, just be yourself and have a human conversation. So that's what I like about Naren and my interactions, even when I was on the other side. And, you know, I was like, oh my God, I can talk to this person as a human being. I don't have to pretend like, you know, like he is like God and he's an awesome human being. And Naren I've been lucky to and blessed to, you know, be friends with him and learn from him and have a mentor like him too. But just be open, you know, have your conversation, ask questions, you know, be respectful of their time. You know, they're taking time out of their very, very busy schedule to talk to you. So make time. If they say, hey, I only have availability, you know, Friday at 7 p.m., flex yourself. This is more important. This takes priority. So flex yourself and say, absolutely, whatever works for you. Not a problem. Would you take the initiative? Would you like me to send out a Zoom invite? Would you like me to schedule a call? Take that initiative so that, you know, can I have your email address? You know, I'd love to, you know, take the initiative to set up a call. So just be more proactive in that communication.
Swati, I want to ask you, what is that LinkedIn message that is, you're a very busy person. You're not going to be able to reply to 1,000 things. But, you know, from the preview, what are the first few words that you feel that this is something I'm going to open up? And of course, this is a stranger. This is not someone you know. So what's that LinkedIn message? What does it start with that which would be most appealing to you?
So the very first thing, now you guys are almost getting into marketing now. So when you look at emails, what is the first thing you see? You see the subject line. You don't see the actual email, right? So what does the subject line say? So think about that. And I think, you know, I'm thinking about it now and I'm thinking about what I had written or what I would write. I don't remember it immediately off the top of my head, but remember that is the first thing that they're going to see, you know? So you could say, don't say looking for a mentor, like don't say that because it freaks out a lot of people. It's they're like, oh my God, I don't have time to commit to be a mentor, you know? So say, informational interview or informational chat, you know, make it very informal. Don't make it formal, make it very informal. So informational chat, you know, can be your subject line. I'm just proposing some ideas. You guys have to test it and finesse it based on your experiences. And then your email can just be, you know, I'm sorry to intrude, you know, because you are intruding by emailing them. This is not, they haven't given you permission to email them. So just say, you know, hey, you know, I want to reach out to you. I want to learn a little bit more. I hope it's okay that I reached out. Be a little bit more emotional and understanding that you're the one that's stepping into their territory. So, or their space. So just that's usually how I start. And I'm like, hey, you know, I'm I don't mean to intrude or disrupt, but I saw your profile and I just graduated out of my PhD. I'm trying to figure out, I'm trying to learn about the roles that a PhD can have in industry. And I saw your role, and I just love to, if you have some time, either this week or next week, whenever you're available, based on your availability, I'd love to schedule a quick chat, and I'd love to pick your brains and learn from you and your experiences. I have rarely gotten a no response or no, sorry, I'm not going to be, I have no time for you. I've rarely gotten anyone say that to me. So that's my recommendation, but.
Okay. I think that is really quite helpful, because I don't think many of us really write those emails on LinkedIn. Very often we send a connection note immediately. And I think this would be a good way to start from a networking perspective, as well as to invite people for the initiative that Biopatrika has with the professional network. So you've, throughout your career, and even now, you said that you interacted with people who had an MBA degree, which is quite different from your field. So every person in your team, if I'm right to assume, brings something different to the table, and that's what sort of guarantees success for the project. And at the moment, you're obviously a big player in launching oncological products, and those involve clinical trials. They involve clinicians, doctors, scientists, pharmacists, chemists, other than marketing, sales, these endless number of people who are doing the communication work, people who are doing educational work. So what do you feel are the 3 common questions that you can ask anybody to get to know about their work and what they do, just in a holistic perspective?
No one's asked me that question, Charu. So I think I would ask, tell me what you do on a day-to-day basis. Like, what does your day-to-day look like? That will give you the exact, not the glorious high level picture of what they do, but the day-to-day of what happens in their lives. And that helps you get an understanding of, if I go down this route, this is probably what it could look like. Is that what I want to do on a day-to-day basis? Even if the bigger picture looks very, very nice and pristine, this is the grunt work that needs to happen to get to that pristine view. So I think that's the first question. I think the second question is, kind of what are the skill sets that are that have helped you be successful in this role? I think that gives us an understanding of, like, you really have to be good in finance to be successful in this role. Mind you, I am not a big fan of finance, but I've had to learn it. I've had to, adapt. And so if that is required, then that is a muscle I need to build. I think that's the second question. And I think third question is, I think, what is sort of the long-term end goal, right? Like, for this role. Like some roles are sort of a dead end. I hate to use that word, but they are. And then some roles have the opportunity to give you sort of their ladders that helped you go from point A to point B, point B to point C, to however high up the ladder you want to go. So I think the question is, is this sort of a ladder role, or is it more of a dead end role?
I think those are very, very insightful questions. Because it's very common to ask, what does your day look like? However, it's not that common to ask, what are the skill sets that you use every day? And of course, where does this take you? And so I think it's very important, if you're a very ambitious person or you're a very satisfied person, to know what kind of role you're getting into. Another important thing that I want to ask is, how much does it matter that the person who writes to you or connects with you has good linguistic skills?
I mean, it's important to be able to understand the other person, right? So I think that's important. If language is a barrier, that's going to be a communication problem, because you might ask something, they might understand something else. They might say something, you've understood something else, and that's just going to not be okay for either parties. I mean, you have to think about what are they getting out, right? Like when someone mentors you or someone's here talking to you, they're getting something out too. What are they getting? They're getting out the satisfaction that, oh, I feel like I've helped somebody. I feel like I've passed on a bit of knowledge that I've had, or some guidance that I've, gotten over time. That's their satisfaction. It's kind of like when you donate, right? Like you feel good when you donate or you give money or you help in the kitchen, like especially in temple kitchens, right? Like when you do those sorts of activities, it's almost like a personal thing. So you have to understand that they might want that for themselves, and are they getting that in return too? So I think linguistics, as long as it's not a language barrier, I think it's fine. I don't think it's like you have to be like this amazing linguistics art, person. I don't think that's necessary. As long as what you say is respectful, what you say is almost it's almost thankful, right? Like you have to be thankful to this person, for giving their time, sharing whatever they've learned. I mean, they're passing knowledge to you. It's we're in India we respect our gurus, and so it's a similar thing, right? So just be thankful, be appreciative of their time, for whatever knowledge that they're passing on. You don't know if you're going to use it now or 5 years later, but you have it with you. So that's at least been my experience. I've had various people reach out to me who have not had English as their first language. And so sometimes it's we just have to slow down and be patient and have those conversations. But you have to find the other person has to be patient and want to have those conversations too. So it has to work both ways.
Right. If, for example, I write to you and you do not, this is just an example, you do not reply, and that's completely okay. Sometimes your messages get lost, and you might also simply not be interested, and that's also fair. And then I write to you in another week. Hi, I wrote to you last time. I wonder if you received my message, and I would really like to get in touch with you, and all of these things, but I still don't hear back from you. Do I write to you a third time, or do I just let it go?
I wouldn't. 2 times is sort of, even for me, like if someone reaches out to me the second time and I don't respond, it's not because I haven't seen it, it's just because I don't have time, or I just have too much going on. So if you really, really, really want to talk to this one person and you're really trying to get a hold of them, give them some time. Like, don't, like 1 week. I think 1 week is too soon too for the second email. So send them an email, wait 2 weeks, then you can just push another email. If you don't hear back, I would wait for a couple months, because sometimes when in industry, you have back-to-back sprints, you're launching a product, you have key customer partnerships happening, you have big things that you're focused 110% on, and you just don't have the energy to invest in some of these other activities. You want to, you just don't have the energy to, or the time to at this point, or you're traveling like crazy. Naren, got on the call asking, Swati, where are you today? Because I travel a lot for work. And so sometimes I don't respond back, not because I don't want to, it's because I'm traveling and I don't know when I'm going to be home. And even when I'm home, I don't know when I'm going to have the time to catch up on all this. So give them some time, wait, have patience, but that's why when I talked about, like, what I was doing was I was emailing a lot of people. So don't just put your eggs in one basket. Put your eggs in 1,000 baskets. Somebody will respond.
Yeah.